This episode of Crack It with Retro Collectibles is sponsored by and in association with the Cowie Diecast Museum, killing the value on collectibles since 2019.
Well, I'm here alone and I'm bored. What can we do? Let's go down to the bowels of the Cowie Diecast Museum and pick something to unbox. Glenn's not here. This is where he keeps his favorite stuff. I'm gonna find something while he's out so we can unbox it. He won't know. I've had my eye on this one, Shelby Collectibles. I know they make killer stuff, and that's gotta be the band. But we've had some Shelby collectibles recently. I want to try something different. That might do. That'll definitely do. I've never opened one of those before. Who makes that, I wonder? Wow. Made by Welly. I've never... Welly makes the Back to the Future cars. They look pretty decent, but I've never unboxed anything by Welly. I don't know how... Shit, he's here. We gotta get out of here, guys. Okay, false alarm, guys. I'm not getting my ass kicked today. Whew. So we could check out the car without risking bodily harm by a big biker. For you movie car guys and TV show car guys, I know Max, you'll get a kick out of this. Check out what is coming out or is out, and it's already at some of the like the diecast websites. I'm gonna check my Nice Car Diecast in Quebec and my Passion Diecast in Quebec. I believe that's the name of the other one that I order my 118s from. Sorry guys, bit tired, still early. I'm gonna see if they're in stock so I can get them before they're all sold out and hit the secondary market. And if you guys like this stuff, I suggest you do it too. But now these are not officially licensed, okay? But it's pretty clear what they are. It's from a TV show. I'll let you guys figure out what they're from before I mention it. Now, it's pretty clear what those are supposed to be. And it's the first time other than toy grade stuff in the 80s that they're doing the chips for adult collectors that I know of. So grab them while they're in the retail level, guys. That is right, guys. If you saw that and you're from my era, then you'll know what that reminds you of. That reminds you of good old Poncherello and Baker from the chips. What's exciting about that is they haven't done anything by chips yet. Well, not since they had the toys back in the 80s, like the motorcycles. They were all done in plastic, stuff like that. This is actually something geared towards the adult collector. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't have some high-end company I don't know about somewhere make them in Switzerland or something, and there's like $2,000 replicas of this. I wouldn't know about that because I wouldn't pay $2,000 for this stuff anyway. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's exciting because they're going to be on the retail level as well. So order them from your retail stores and get them for a decent price. I think they were $12.99, but in euros or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember the price exactly. I'm going to have to check my Canadian stores. It was a store I seen them in called Diecast Direct that I actually took those pictures from. Diecast Direct is legit. I know people that have ordered from them. I just haven't ordered from them myself, so I can't speak on it. But I know Diecast Direct is legit. If it's something that you gotta have, they have it right now. Myself, personally, I'm gonna wait and get it from one of my Quebec stores. But if you want them right now, I know for a fact Diecast Direct has them right now. So let's get at this, guys. You'll notice I'm wearing different clothes. It is the same day this time. I just had a shower and stuff. Gonna head out to the reserve today to restock everything. But I am going to mention something. You guys know that I joke around on this channel quite a bit. That's what it is it's joking. The joking towards welfare the last little while with me posting the funny pictures of myself in the welfare office, stuff like that. That is in no way making fun of anybody, saying that I'm better than anybody, because I'm going to tell you a story, and this is why I believe in karma. I believe in karma because it's shown itself to me several times in my life. Tell me this is not karma though. About 7 years ago, the whole time I was in active addiction, the good thing about me is I still went to work. Problem was, a lot of it was jobs that weren't career jobs. They didn't have benefits, stuff like that. Something that I surprised myself that I was good in was sales. Telephone sales, like credit cards, stuff that people wanted, like tap customers, re-existing customers. I did charity stuff like tickets for the old timer hockey games. Like 7 years ago, if you got that phone call, it might have been me on the phone. If you're in Canada and Ontario, I called people in my hometown, Sault Ste. Marie, and got people that I knew on the telephone, okay? I did that kind of stuff for about 12 years, and I was good at it. I was, at some points, real good at it. Like, I was making more in bonuses than I was making on my hourly check. And there was certain seasons that it was commission only, where at first I was like, wow, do I want to do this? Like when I worked for Weedman selling lawn care for a few years. I quit that because of the pesticide ban, and the new products that came in were twice the amount of money and they didn't work, and I didn't want to be selling shit that didn't work. I don't know, it might be different now, but back then, that's what I'm talking about, right about when the pesticide ban came in. Went from stuff that worked to stuff that didn't work that cost twice the amount of money. Anyway, over the years, kind of like a racehorse, I guess, when you're, and I've not just, it didn't just happen to me, it happened to several people I know, like guys that were the best at one time. You get worn out. And at the end of it, I couldn't sell nothing. Like, you can give me the best leads on the planet, I couldn't close them, or I would close a few of them, but nowhere near where I should have been. It was just out of me, okay? At the end of it, like, because I had a fairly good reputation with the different offices around the area here, I could go between them and work between them, stuff like that. As long as I wasn't working for two competitors at once, that was a no-no. But at the end of it, I was like eking by a living on my name. Like, I wasn't selling nearly the way I used to. And they were more or less just trying to help me get a paycheck into my house. But they couldn't just keep paying me forever, right? But they, in the end of it, it was out of me. There was nothing I could do. I don't know what it was. I just hit my day, you know what I mean? But for a couple of years, I was breaking records selling stuff. But anyway, I fell on hard times, because here I am, 12 years sitting in a chair. My body's not in the best shape. I'm all beat up from just sitting in a chair. Like, a lot of the deterioration to my lower back, believe it or not, sitting in a chair. I thought I was being smart, not beating my body up. Not being active was worse than what I do now, okay? So it took a toll on my body. My arms looked like toothpicks. Like, I didn't have a very good physique from sitting in a chair. So there was no jobs at one point. I ended up having to go on welfare myself. Now, what I'm saying, guys, is I'm not better than anybody. You can punch my name in. I've probably been on the system a dozen times in my life. Like, when I was younger, no time recently, thank God, but when I was younger, I was on and off the system all the time, especially before I moved down south here. It was regular to be on that system, okay? So they had a program called Helping Hands, and I was one of the few people to graduate from that program, because I remember the lady that taught the class saying that we start out with 30 people and maybe 10 will graduate, and it's because sadly, there's people, like, I had fallen on hard times, but I wanted to work. I needed to work. Like, I could get a disability pension if I wanted to for my ADHD and other stuff, but I'm a worker, okay? So I desperately wanted to work, and they were very good to me with helping me get back on track. Like years ago, they could kind of see I was kind of a scammy guy trying to buck the system, and they would give me a hard time. But this time they recognized that I really wanted to work, and they did everything in their power to help me. But I was seeing people falling out of that class by the week, right? So anyway, I ended up what the Helping Hands program did. Now tell me this is not humble, and I haven't come from humble spots, okay? So for about, I would say 6 months until I got a job, I was going out, and what you do is you go to the homes of disabled people and elderly people, and you clean their house. They give you a bus pass. If you have a car, you're not allowed to drive it to the house, for privacy reasons. I didn't have a car at the time, but even if I had a car or I couldn't get dropped off at the house, I had to take the bus for privacy reasons. They gave you a bus pass. So rain or shine, cold, brutal winter I was out in, taking the bus from spots of Hamilton, Ancaster that I didn't even know, okay? Way out. And I would clean these old people's houses. I would usually do about 3 in a day, and I would get $30 a day. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're on welfare, I think I was making $670 a month. That $30 extra a day every 2 weeks added up, and they would let you keep it. And it was an incentive to show you working is rewarding, I think was the idea, right? But I already knew that. They bought me a new pair of work boots. They totally outfitted me. Well, they were work shoes, like CSA work shoes, similar to what I wear now, actually, in a factory. But they totally outfit you, give you a backpack, and I was wearing scrubs. Like I looked like I worked in the ER at the St. Joe's Hospital. Like if you seen me on the bus, I would have a backpack and I would have scrubs on, and and in the end of it, when I was still taking the bus right before I got my car, I used to see those people on the bus, and I used to tell them, "Oh, you're with Helping Hands, right? I graduated from them. Keep it up. I've got a good job now." You know what I mean? I would give them some hope, but that's just where I came from. And a twist on the ironic part of it, guys. I remember one day going to clean a house that was on Big R Avenue in Hamilton, North End. It was a little tiny house, but it had a backyard, and it was a really odd layout because it had a window in the living room, but you look through the living room window and it was a staircase that went to the basement because it was an addition on the house, but it was a tiny house, and it was an old lady with a blind dog that used to pee on the floor because he was blind. The poor dog was ready for heaven, but I used to clean, she was one of my regular clients, so I would go to this house. During COVID, did me and Diane go to see a house for rent? It was cheaper for some reason than apartments. It was small. Like my old apartment that I just moved out of had more square footage than this house, but it had a backyard, it had a deck. I ended up going back, I think 2 years or a year after completing that program, getting a job, getting on the right track. I was sober. We ended up renting that very house that I used to scrub the bathtub in and go down to the basement and do the laundry and stuff. Same washing machine and everything. I think what happened was the old lady went to a nursing home, or I hate to say maybe she's gone because she was getting up there in age. She was very friendly, but our scammy old landlord bought it. I had a battle with him and he ended up paying me a bunch of money, but that's another story I'll get into another time. But we ended up renting this house off this scammer, and it went fine for a year until he turned around and told us he was selling the house. And then he ended up having to pay us a bunch of money, but that's a different story. But yeah, we ended up renting that house that I used to scrub the bathtub in. Like, tell me that is not. So I don't think I'm better than anybody else, guys. That's just something I want to say. I think you guys know by now, if you've been watching for a while, my jokes are just that. They're jokes. And a lot of them are making fun of myself. You'll see in my thumbnails, what's this burnout opening? You know what I mean? That's me making that thumbnail. That's not somebody making fun of me. That's me making fun of me. So I'm not thinking I'm above anybody else when I make fun of stuff. And with the scalper stuff, it's nothing against my retailer friends. It's not the retailers I'm calling scalpers. Basically, if you're on my friends list and if I talk to you, that's not who I'm referring to. And the people who I am referring to, I would say it right to them, and I've said it to their face before. So, there's lots of them. But let's get down to the unboxing. I just had to do a disclaimer, guys. Tell you guys a story to let you know that I've been as low as any of you ever have been, and even lower than I've told you. And I'm not making fun of anybody. And if any of you are on assistance, don't lose hope. It'll get better. I had to start from the bottom, like cleaning old ladies' bathtubs for $30 a day and taking the bus house to house. I think I would get the quota was 3 houses in a day I would do. So, and that was the Helping Hands program. Anybody doesn't believe me, look it up. I think I still kept actually my scrubs from when I used to do that, just as a reminder, you know what I mean? They're maroon in color, but anything I tell you guys, any stories, by the way, I can verify either by photographs or I have living witnesses that'll sit here and say, yeah, I was there, he did that. Like, because some of my stories sound like they're out of a movie, but I got people that can verify it. So this is by Welly, and if you notice my thumbnail, I made a comment. Hopefully, we did unbox a Welly actually. I'll refresh your memory in a second. And it wasn't bad quality, believe it or not. But this is a 1 of 1800, and it looks like Welly went towards the more collector market. Give me a second, I'm going to show you guys. I'm not going to pause it, I'll just leave it in real time and yak with you. We don't have a live studio audience today, so I don't got nobody to impress. But I lied to you. I did unbox a Welly, and it was recent. This one's a little bit more high-end though. But if you'll remember, it was this Mercury Cougar Eliminator, and I was actually pleasantly surprised with the quality, if I remember. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Eliminator, but I liked the way it sat. It had working suspension, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't what I was expecting, because you usually see Welly like this for pretty cheap. But like I said, this is touted as a collector one. It comes in the cake box like the GMPs do, and some of the Hot Wheels Elite stuff does. So they're trying to end beautiful paint, guys, and no paint rash. First thing that jumps out at me is that beautiful paint. Sometimes paint just jumps out at you. You guys know what I mean. And I don't mean jump out because it's a loud color, but just glass, you know, like I'm looking at it. You guys probably can't see it the way I see it, but you get the idea. So far, it's got beautiful paint. I'm going into this completely unbiased, guys. Other than the Welly that we unboxed, that was a car that I'm not crazy about, the Eliminator. It was nice, though. It was nice. And I actually ended up liking the Eliminators after that video. So we're going in completely not biased with this. And this is a collector one. We haven't opened a Welly collector one, so we're gonna see if it's lives up to what it's supposed to. Nothing shaking around loose, that's a good thing. So the steering steers beautifully with it. Now we're gonna do what we normally do. Now again, to new collectors, heavy castings, when you put them on the table, if they have the steerable steering, try not to use the steering wheel to do it, because you could loosen it, damage it. Always good to just do it by hand if it's on its own weight, especially if it's a heavy casting. I'm impressed, it's got authentic sponsors. 76 gas station, something car club. Something Car Club of America is the one, and Autolite. spark plugs. I can't see that Car Club of America one, what it is. Trying to get the camera to zoom. I'll try to get it for you by the end of the video. But so far, aesthetically, it looks beautiful. You do see the stripe underneath that 29 Tampo. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's not hugely loud that you see it, but you can notice it. Doesn't bother me too bad though, because the paint distracts me. Got another big sponsor here, Castrol. Goodyear tires. So they did well with that. Now I wasn't sure about the trunk on this beauty. Trunk does not open, so I don't know if they do their own castings, or maybe if they got a one from Myrtle, because God knows they did a lot of this style Mustang. We know Glenn's got a few of them, all different colors. But so far, so good. So we'll show the interior first. That you could see the roll cage through the back window. Oh, you see a fire extinguisher in there too, guys. It's nicely detailed inside, and it's not just a plastic molded extinguisher. It looks like a metal one. I think this is one that if you like these vintage race cars and you want to detail... Ooh. Yeah. If you like this style car and if you want a nicely detailed one, and I can't see these being too expensive, but you got to buy them in the right place, guys. Like, there's somebody that's getting the KK scale models. You know, the Miami Vice I just ordered for $130, and that was from Amazon that it was $130. It wasn't from KK scale, so there was a bit of markup on what I had on the one I ordered, which I don't mind. But what you don't want to do is pay $250 for something like that. Like, there's a guy actually charging $250 on Kijiji for that same car. And he's got the same resin figures. Instead of $40 you ordering them yourself, he's selling them for $80. So just watch where you're buying stuff. Because can you imagine the feeling of... Because I thought KK scale was high end when I was seeing it. I didn't know... I thought it was older. You couldn't get it anymore. I thought the only way I was going to get that Miami Vice Testarossa is if I found it online, like I lucked out with Bullet and that, but I didn't think I'd afford one. But it turns out KK scale, the stuff looks great. You see my unboxing video, but it's not a $250 model, guys. And I would hate for one of you guys to pay that and then see me do a video and say, look, you can get them from Nice Car Diecast in Quebec for $89 or something like that, but you've already paid one of these guys $200. Stuff that's out of the stores, it doesn't burn me as much, you know what I mean? But when these guys are doing it when it's still in retail stores, and then they say, oh, well, it's, it's up to the buyer, blah, blah, blah. It's up to them to educate themselves. So it's okay to scam them if they don't know any better. I don't know. I'm set in my ways with that stuff, guys. And I'm not a hypocrite. You could check my marketplace. It's on my Facebook. You could see what I charge. You know what I mean? Most of my stuff doesn't stay listed long. I'll just say that. I just cleared out a shit ton of my sold listings actually 2 days ago. But that is, look at that, guys. It's got the switches in the center console, like way over here. We're going to get a better look at it, of course, on the look-see set, but that steering wheel looks kind of low, but guess that's the way. Oh, you know what? The race cars, a lot of them, the driver gets in and then puts the steering wheel on. That way, it's a tighter, it's tighter in the car. He's one with the car. So maybe it's one of those. But she looks good. But But yeah, the key is, guys, it's worth it, but you don't want to pay too much because it's not a GMP or something, right? No number on the bottom. No number on the license plates. I will show you guys the bottom before we get to the good part. Well, we hope it's the good part. So far, it's better than a Maisto, I'll say that, guys. It's a lot better than a Maisto detail-wise, paint-wise. Actually, I can't say paint-wise because some of the Maisto paints have been beautiful lately. I cannot say paint-wise. But yeah, detail-wise, definitely more detailed than a Maisto. And it should be. It presents itself in a friggin' cake box. Here's one last look before we get to the goods. I'll let you guys see it first and you tell me. I don't know if it's a good shot because I'm trying not to look because I haven't seen it yet. Okay, I'm going to close it. You guys seen it first. Is it any good? Worth picking up? Any good? Wow. I was going to do that green Shelby Collectibles today, guys, because I love the green color. I love loud colors like that. A lot of people don't, but... And it's a newer Mustang, which I have never done a newer one. But I said I wanted to take a gamble on this, and I'm glad I did. Look at that, guys. Look at that detail. That is comparable to the Shelby Collectibles detail, especially the wired Eleanor engine. That is beautiful. So if you're somewhere and you see one of these boxes on a shelf and you're wondering how it looks, because that's the only thing I don't like about cake boxes, guys, you don't see what you're getting. And they don't display well, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't display well. What are you going to do, sit that box on the shelf? It's a picture of the car. You want a window so you could see your car, right? But the good thing about those boxes is they don't get beat up nearly as bad. It's a good box for in a storage locker or whatever. But look at that detail. Oh boy. That's a pleasant surprise. Sometimes you can't just go by the name, right? Wow. I can't get over the paint, how nice it is. It's there's no rash at all on it. Nothing, no funny business. Joints all open up nice too. Doors open beautiful. They got the traditional Ertl style no fail. You know, they don't look cosmetically the best, but they don't fail you. Like the utilitarian style, I guess you would call it. But very close to Ertl. Maybe one of you guys can tell me if Ertl has anything to do with Welly or if Welly bought castings from Ertl. I don't know, but it reminds me of an Ertl casting, especially the non-opening trunk. Green lights, the trunk's open on everything. But enough babbling, let's go take a look at this because I got to get out to the reserve to restock. I haven't even had my Java. Feeling engaged with you guys today. I hope my yakking doesn't annoy you guys and you're like, oh, just get to the unboxing because I like engaging with you guys. Some of you tell me you like the stories, so... but check this out. Tell me I don't got to get my butt out there today. Uh-oh. But the good thing is this time, I got just enough gas. Last time I got screwed. I was leaving town. It was friggin' $1.50 a liter. And I had to put... I got nervous. I don't want to break down in the middle of nowhere out there, right? And so I put like, how much should I put? Will $10 be enough? So I put 20 in. Gives me almost like a half a tank. And I'm like, frig sakes, you know what I mean? But now, today, I have enough gas to get out there, which is cool. And I'm so cheap. I got a trick. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. Glenn bought a jerry can, a big one, like a think it's for 25 liters, I think. And he took it out to the reserve the other day when he filled up his truck and he filled the jerry can. Now, I was always thinking, is there a way to do that? Is it worth it? I looked up my gas tank on my car and it's only like 14 and a half liters or something like that. So I'm debating, because you're allowed to transport fuel as long as it's under a certain gross weight. I looked it all up. Like, I would only be taking one jerry can. I'm just trying to think to myself, if I put it in the trunk, I'm not going to blow myself up. I'm not going to inhale the fumes and get a good buzz while I'm driving out there. But if somebody rear ends me, or if I'm in my car and something happens, boom, or you inhale the fumes and get high. Like, I'm just thinking all this stuff. I try to think things through. It's in the trunk and there's fumes in the trunk that leaked out at the jerry can and the taillight shorts out. Boom, So I'm just trying to think if it's smart for me to do that. I don't know. It's awesome though, because it would save me a bunch of money over time doing that from gassing up in town. So I'm thinking it over. Yeah, guys, even the headlights work on this. Everything works on it. Sorry, wrong video. So here we go, guys. This is the right car here. That bullet is just so awesome. The reason we're showing it off now, guys, is because when we got it, the headlights came on, but they were very, 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 very dim. And I said to Glenn, it's probably been sitting in a box for years. Headlights are probably dead. Put in new headlights, boom! And it was after we'd already showed you guys the car. So I said, oh, I'll show them at a later date, then forgot about it. I'm actually impressed with my Facebook reel of it. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's actually very well done. I can't believe I did it. It's got good music with it and everything. The YouTube version of it, the reel, the Bullet Mustang, I basically put Snoop Dogg, but with Optimus Prime voice changer. So it's got a nice beat, but I'm not getting burned by copyright. Now, if I'm buying one of these guys, that's what I'm coming for right there. Would you guys look at that? Wow. From a different angle, but that is very realistic. Very good job. And it looks sexy sitting there. I like how the pipe coming out the side of it. Like how the rear end's a bit raised up as well. Just has a nice look sitting there. Again, no opening trunk, but look at the freaking detail of that interior, guys. Wow. Wow. Sorry for the shakiness. I got her zoomed in. Got a sexy rear end too. Sexy. Show you guys from the other way. Look at those switches, guys. Look at that. That is crazy detail. It's got the harnesses and everything. One last thing before I go, guys. So a viewer, and this is a viewer that I trust what he says. He's a good kid. Sorry, Gordon, I don't mean to call you a kid because you're an adult, but I call him a good kid because he's younger than me. He let me know that some of my videos are coming across on his end with a high pitch noise in them. It's not coming through when I watch them on my phone. It's not coming through to Glenn. It's what I think is it would almost be like a feedback. I was wondering if it was because I have sometimes my earbuds in, and that causes some feedback. So I'm wondering if it was during segments that I had those in my ears, and if it is, I'll remember to keep them out. But you guys let me know if there's a high-pitched sound, because I don't get it in my phone. Glenn doesn't get it in his phone. It doesn't come through on the TV, but I don't know. It might just be certain videos it's happening in. But if you guys see this stuff, let me know, because I don't want you guys being driven nuts with high-pitched noises. I want you to enjoy the stuff I record. And one last message, something that I learned. Now, people that's still into the party lifestyle, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to be responsible and careful. I learned something that blew my mind about a certain drug that none of us even really considered it a drug. But benzodiazepine, benzos, they're very dangerous. Like that, one of the deadliest drug combinations to use, according to this doctor that I was watching videos online, is cocaine and benzos. And what shocked me was back when I used to sell all that shit and I was on it all the time, I had a bottle of benzos on me all the time. Like, I had a guy I used to get his prescriptions off him, whatever. And I had a bottle of benzos on me all the time. And it was normal because you would take those to come down and be able to go to sleep. As crazy as that is, taking something to get high and then taking something to get down again. But that's what that life is. You're either high or you're friggin' feeling like crap. But we used to take them to come down, but apparently they're very, very deadly, and you can die in your sleep from taking them. I don't know. Like, this was in 2008 to 2010, I'm talking about, that I was involved in all that. But yeah, we were all taking them. We didn't take them to get high. We didn't even think it was a narcotic. We just used to take them to fall asleep. But apparently they're very, very dangerous. So if you're in the drug world still, I don't hold anything against you if you're still partying, anything like that, but just be careful with what you're putting in your body. I used to be very good with checking all the pills and everything I got by numbers and stuff on the pills. I would Google them, this and that. But we all thought benzos were safe. So, goes to show you. I did something else that could have killed me that I'm lucky that it didn't. So, just be careful out there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please click the like button for me. That way I keep everything going and it gives me a pat on the back and says, good job, Retro. Keep me motivated. Please subscribe and share. And as always, guys, happy hunting.